Hey guys, so today we're going to solve number 23. Alright, so the question is, the graph of f is shown in the figure above. Which of the following could be the graph of the derivative of f? So basically we're going to be looking at the graph of f and looking for which of the possible answers they provided is the derivative of f.
Alright, the first thing we can look at is where f has a relative max, which is right about here. So we know that when the derivative equals 0, that a relative extrema exists. So on option number A, we have that it equals 0 at about the same spot, so that one works. This one works as well, and so does this one. But when we come over to option letter B, we have that the derivative equals 0 here and here, and that does not match with our graph of f. Also, same thing with letter D. We have f prime equals 0 here and here, and that does not match graph of f either. Alright, so next we can say we know that when f prime is positive, that f is increasing, and when f prime is negative, f is decreasing. Next, we also know that f has a relative max when f prime changes from positive to negative. Now we can take a look at our options here, and we have that option A, it's going from positive to negative, so far that checks out. This one, letter C, goes from negative to positive, so that would create a relative min, not a relative max, which is what our graph of x has. And lastly, letter E also goes from positive to negative, so we can keep that one in there.
We can check that the letters we have are correct by looking at the graph of the derivative. So when we look at f of x, we can see that at the first part from a to around 1, this kind of area, we can see the graph is increasing, whereas from 0 to b, we see that it's decreasing. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said this is 1. We can't know that this is 1 because we don't have any numbers on this number line from A to B, so we can't say that. But all right, so we're down to the answers of A and E, and the final thing just to look at, the final criteria, is that when we look at f, we see that the graph, and since the derivative of f is f prime and it's A and E, um, between A and E, we're looking for where the slope is approaching 0. So here we see that it's approaching 0 right here. We can't say that it is 0, but it's approaching 0. So when we look down at the derivatives of f that are given to us, and we're left with right now A and E, we're looking for the answer that shows the graph of f approaching, the graph of f prime approaching 0. So when we look at A, we see that it's right at 0 here and right at 0 here, which matches up with a graph of f. And at E, we see that it is not approaching 0 here and is not approaching 0 here. So E is no longer a viable answer, and we are left with A.